President Kamala Harris is wrapping up her Blue Wall Week in the swing state of Michigan. What is her message expected to be to voters there?
Well, as you heard Robert Sherman talking about Trump focusing on the issues, for Harris, it's more so focusing on the areas and the demographics of voters. So she's going to be looking at Republicans that she can woo who maybe have supported Nikki Haley in the past or maybe on the fence about supporting former President Donald Trump that she can win over. She's also focusing on the suburbs, and that's where she will be in the Detroit suburbs later tonight, trying to win over voters there with her message kind of also focusing on the economy. She's going to be stopping by a union halt in Lansing, talking about with blue-collar workers in this blue wall state and warning about the message of Trump's economy and basically that they have this grant right now from what Democrats put into place with the climate law in 2022, where they were going to switch their gas-powered vehicles to electric vehicles, and they were getting a grant for that. She's going to say that 650 jobs could be wiped out under Trump's campaign promise to rescind the funding under that law. So she's going to send that warning there. She's also hoping to win over black voters in the state, and she's going to be deploying former President Obama to Detroit next week, as well as campaigning with former First Lady Michelle Obama in Michigan next weekend, October 26th, to hopefully win over support from black voters there. But right now, she's doing much better with white women in the suburbs than she is with black voters in the state. Nichole?
All right, so Robert, back over to you. You know, most election years, we do not see Republican presidential candidates focusing on urban areas, yet today the former president's rally is there, as you said, in downtown Detroit. What is the significance there?
Yeah, put simply, Nichole, the reason that Republicans haven't put such a keen focus on major urban centers is because Republicans historically have not performed well in these big downtown areas. But you look at some of the polling metrics that have been coming out recently, and there's indication from what you're seeing on your screen here that perhaps the former president overperforming in urban environments. You see this one study here putting him at 42% support. You don't typically see that from Republican candidates. Conversely, suburban areas, that's very close right now between the vice president and the former president. And then rural, that's remaining solid red territory for the former president. But that's where this campaign sees opportunities to pick up votes, focusing on urban areas, focusing on major city centers. And a state like Michigan decided historically by the margins in the last couple of election cycles, they believe that those votes could really make a difference. Nichole?
All right, and Kelly, we'll wrap up with you here. So, you know, you talked about suburban white women and the support for Harris. And in addition to working to win over the suburbs, she's also trying to shore up support from the Arab American community. How is that going?
Yeah, and it's no secret that there is a divide in the Arab American community when it comes to the Biden-Harris administration's handling of the conflict between Israel and Hamas. There is still deep discontent in some of these communities. Michigan has the nation's largest population of Arab Americans in the country, and they are still weighing their vote. We know back in February, and this was when President Biden was running, but more than 100,000 people voted uncommitted to protest the Biden-Harris administration's handling of the war. You can see the numbers there on your screen. So the question is whether or not those folks will still come out. And we take a look back at the numbers from 2016 and 2020, where Biden won by 154,000 votes. So if you subtract those 100,000 that voted uncommitted, the numbers could be getting tight in a state that's already very close. Right now, Trump holds a slight lead over Harris. So she's trying to run up her numbers in areas like the suburbs with white women, as you see Trump running up his numbers in urban areas. So it seems like they're trading places in some ways, where she's trying to run up with white women as well as Republican voters. So it's interesting to see their message and how they're dividing the state here today.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.